Get started on our workshop tonight. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. So the work session will get started. Okay. Everybody get a chance to look at the budget modifications?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any questions about them? All right. Number 2, the 2025 preliminary budget. The 2025 preliminary budget, we had our workshop, we went over it. I think everybody's on the same page, right? We're all good with the preliminary. It's good. Anybody had any questions more after the workshop? I know Tyler had the one question. We took care of that. The one about the Meek was under the Meek section, but it was really for part-timers and it was under Parks and Rec. So that was the difference. It had nothing to do with the Meek. It had everything to do with the part-timers for the whole town, like Parks and Rec. So next is set a public hearing on the 2025 preliminary budget, which we're going to shoot for October 22nd, which is our next meeting, 2024 at 6 p.m. Next is set a public hearing for the local law short-term rentals, which will also be on that night, 10/22/24 at 6 o'clock. So it might be a busy night with all the questions and stuff. So we have with the local law for short-term rentals, Ben got everything done, looked at everything, said everything looks good, made a few little changes.
Yep, nothing major.
Nothing major, and
Bunch of red ink there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Is that a bunch of red
The
ink?
bunch of red ink or minor?
Minor red. So
Change the subject.
yeah, so we'll get that all set up and put it out on our webpage, or if somebody wants a call for short-term rentals, they can, we'll email it to them, or and they can come in and get it so they can read it before the public hearing.
We're gonna post that though, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So like I said, we have 3 weeks before our public hearing, so that'll give plenty of time for word to get out and everybody can get a hold of it and take a look at it and be prepared for the 22nd.
And Mike, that goes for the preliminary budget also. Does that get posted or?
Yeah, that gets posted.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
So, next is referral exemption agreement with the county of Sullivan. Matt had a question, which I got the answer actually today, finally, from the lawyer from the county. Matt, when we talked about it before about the exemptions that they put in, it's not what we're going to get from other townships. That's going to be what we offer to the other townships. So like in reference of the villages or town of Thompson, if they're doing something, they've probably already taken this exemption part. So it's up to us. They did say that if we wanted to keep it exactly the same as last year, send it to the county and the county attorney, and they will bring it to their attention, and he doesn't see why we can't keep what we had last year. So that's going to be up to the board what they want to do. If they want to keep it the same or go with the new version, because they're just trying to keep a little bit of work out for everybody in the county to keep it a little slower. So, that's what I had on that. So we can kind of decide on that tonight, and whatever the board thinks. Any questions, Matt?
No.
You want to talk into the thing? Sorry.
Sorry, folks. So my understanding from what you just told me is that everybody else, all the other municipalities surrounding us have agreed to this exemption agreement with the county of Sullivan. So does that affect what the information they provide us, or?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, okay.
So this is just for us. If we want to do it if we have big projects in our town, to go to other municipalities around us. So that's That's what they explained to me today. So we can still go with, if, you know, our planning board wants to keep it, you know, the way it was, and, you know, any little town, how does it explain it? Any like two-family, two-lot subdivision in our town that the other towns are close to, if we still want them to review it and give us their opinion on it, then we should keep it the same. If not, then we agree to what this law is and go from there. But what the other towns or villages do is, if they accepted this, then they're kind of exempt from.
All right, so
those things.
we know for sure that Thompson and,
I don't know that. He didn't tell me who accepted this, but it sounded
Okay.
like most of them are all accepting it. But if we had a problem, they would, you know, listen to what we thought if we wanted to stay with the way it was.
So Mike, if we accept this new one, basically the clerks in the office have to do a little less work.
Well, yeah, and then we want to send it to the county on some things. So,
Yeah, mostly it's county planning who will do a little less work.
Yeah.
Because they won't have to review these small applications.
right.
Look,
So,
It sounds like it would streamline some of the smaller projects, some of the smaller subdivisions and, you know,
Right.
two-family houses, three, you know, we're two buildings on a lot or something, and it just,
right, but anything close to us, we're not gonna know.
Right.
Some of these subdivisions, you know, the small subdivisions, like it says on here, the 2-lot subdivisions or stuff that we used to get, we're not gonna get anymore. Line adjustments, you know, stuff like that. So they're just trying to make it a little simpler for the county. But like I said, it really doesn't matter, you know, to me. We can go with our old exemption, or we can accept this new one that has some exemptions. So,
Now, Mike, from how I understand it, is either way we do that, the other towns don't have to share
if
that.
if they accepted this new one, yeah, yes.
And
so
those other towns
we're
would
not
not
sure at
prefer
this
the
point who's
minor.
accepted it or who hasn't.
And I could probably get the list, Matt, of who accepted this and who didn't. I can ask the attorney.
Okay,
That's who I talked to today. He said he did actually, you know, any questions we had, just give him a call back.
so staying within Sullivan County and the town, what other townships would that, would we be concerned about other than Thompson or Forestburg, right? I think.
Forestburg,
Just
yeah, the villages, the Fallsburg, Forestburg, you know, anything that borders us.
and this wouldn't affect Walk Hill, Orange County, right?
No, because they
Correct.
probably have their own. So, like I said, if you want to table this, we can still table it for a little bit. We can do a little bit more research. But that's the answer that I got today. So,
Okay, I would like to know who's agreed to,
accepting it.
yeah, before I make my own personal feelings, my own decision on it.
Okay.
But if the board feels compelled to vote on it tonight, then
Yeah, well, we'll bring it up in the resolutions and see what people want to do.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any comments on that? All right. The MS4 waiver. Larry Paggi came last month and explained to us what it's all about. It's also something that we would have less work to do. Would save us money through engineers and stuff like that to keep filing for this report every year. We would just have to file for the waiver. So I know you know, I'd rather save a little bit of money, and Larry's our engineer and he recommends that we ask for a waiver.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of an outdated agreement to start
Yes.
with, that things have changed and
Yes.
populations are, I mean, that particular area that we were talking about really doesn't seem to be an issue.
Right.
Well, it also lets us off the hook from any potential audits from the DEC, right, in regards to our records keeping involving the MS4.
Yeah. So. All right, we'll move on to the next, discuss pickleball nets and posts. So pickleball court's going pretty well. I went to order the nets and the posts for all the pickleball courts and the one tennis court. They came back more than our procurement, which is $3,000, anything between 3,000 and 20. We have to get 3 quotes. So I only have the one, but I talked to 2 others. They haven't gotten back to me. So when we have a deadline for this to get done, so I'm asking the board that when I get all the quotes back, I'll send it to everybody. And then you guys can decide. We'll probably go with the lowest quote anyway. But we'll vote on it via email so I can get it done. We did ask for extension. It was supposed to be done by October 1st, but because of certain situations, we haven't been able to get it done yet. But we did get an extension, and it sounds like Sullivan 180 is going to give us until November 1st. So,
And then the board will vote to ratify that at your
that's
next
our
meeting.
next meeting on October 22nd.
And that one quote you got so far was what? How much?
It was 4,500. That's for the 4 pickleballs and 1 tennis court.
Okay.
And then that's in all poles. They've put all the sleeves in already. They're actually going to start painting on Thursday. He said the weather's supposed to be beautiful, so we'll see how things get going. So they've been moving right along. So any questions about that? No. All right. Jim's missing tonight. He had something else to take care of tonight. So we're going to start the meeting and we're going to do pledge allegiance, but before you sit, please stay standing. We have a gentleman that passed. I'll read his thing after pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That gentleman's name is Donald Hafley. He passed away this past week. He was a town constable. He was a dog control officer for almost 20 years, and then he was part-time officer clerk. So can we just have a moment of silence? Thank you. All right. All right, start off with our business meeting, public comment, 3 minutes each individual for anything on the workshop session. Go ahead, Lori.
Okay, just because I think I missed part of this. What exactly is it that we're exempt from?
Oh, it's on the law that they sent us. So there's some of them that's a 2-lot subdivision.
Okay, is there a copy there?
No, but I can give you one.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. Matt, could you hand that to Lori so you can look at it?
Thanks.
No problem. Anybody else? Anything on the agendas or on the work session? No? Brittany, do you have anything? Anybody?
I do not.
Okay. Next, highway superintendent report.
Good evening, everybody. We're done paving the town's roads that we had for chips this year. So the last part of that process is chip sealing, which we started today, and we should be done tomorrow before noon for those 4 roads. A few weeks after that's all done, we go back, sweep up the excess chips, and then that's pretty much the entire process. Besides that, we are out with the hot box patching potholes around town. And we're also just replacing and repairing ditches and pipes in some areas of the town that have been a victim of which are past rain events that we haven't gotten to. So we're just catching up on all that. And then the last thing, which I just wrote down because I didn't hear it mentioned, was there was a discrepancy and we'll call it a discrepancy in the award of the fuel oil bid. Marabito sent an email stating that they feel that they were the winners, having the low bid. After speaking with Ben Gailey, and trying to get all the information from, as far as I can see, because I've only done this a few times. I think Tiffany, the account clerk's only done this a few times. So there's a lot of information in these very big bid packets. I think there was a few discrepancies and a few bits of misinformation presented to a couple of the applicants, well, for lack of a better term. So I'm recommending that we go back out to bid for fuel oil. I don't know really much more to say about that. There was Marabito was not the lowest bid. However, following the letter of the spec of the bid, they were. So, and that's because the other applicant was given a little bit different information than they probably should have been given. Again, no malice intent, just somebody, thought they were giving the better information, and then, so they didn't really have a true chance to bid appropriately either. So that's my recommendation, that we go back out to bid just for that one item, fuel oil. I don't know too much more about it because that's actually the one thing that we don't actually use down there. That's just for the buildings, and we don't have fuel oil down there, just propane.
Tom,
So-
was this, we had spoken about it, that they had given two bids from two different locations?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, there's the bid calls for the New York State rail car price. And the people that we awarded the bid to gave us the New York State rail car price, and they also gave us the Newburgh price being cheaper, the Newburgh price being the price that they said they'd that the town would owe them, that being the lowest price. So that's what we bid. However, Marabito saying that the bid packet specifically calls for the rail car and not anything else. So we have to go with the rail car. There was a section in all the bid packets right on the second page that say we can accept any bid if it benefits the town. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just paraphrasing. So, I think we assumed that maybe we were covered under that, but I think in retrospect, maybe we should have just gone with the letter of the bid. So that's not fair to Marabito. And then the second issue, as it pertains to the one we did award, Black Bear, they still quite possibly could have been the lowest, but they used a Opus report, and that's the daily oil price sheet that comes out every day. They did not use the one that the bid specs called for because it was recommended by, I don't know how personnel matters, that they used the weeks prior. So therefore their price was about instead of $2.88, it was $3. So if they had used the correct Opus price and not been recommended the wrong one, they probably would have been in higher contention. So just a lot of those variables, I think we should just.
It's a pretty confusing process.
It is. And then there's that differential involved.
Right.
Which is, as far as I can understand, that's a pretty simple thing is, you need to use the rail car price. That's $288.75. And then the plus or minus is what they're offering us. So you take $288.75 plus or minus, and then that's their bid price. So that's my recommendation. If you want to go into, any other questions, feel free to ask, but just to make it fair all around the board.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation, just so we don't.
Yeah, how's the board feel? I mean, I'm fine with bidding it also. Does it need 2 weeks, 2.5?
Who had the bid this year? I don't recall.
The current bid, Marabito has it at the moment. We awarded Black Bear
This year.
this year. But Marabito's contending that they had the lower bid, which using the letter of our own bid specs, they did. We actually kind of put ourselves in a corner where now we're going to probably have to take a higher price than we were going to get originally. But that's not anybody's fault. I mean, we should look at these bid packets that are probably haven't been reviewed in a while. But as Ben stated, you kind of need a baseline So you need to say it's gotta be the rail car or it's gotta be from the Newburgh because if you don't, then you've got these numbers could be coming at you from left and right from nowhere. So it kind of, you need a ground level, floor for people to start at with their bids.
So-
it sounds like, we're compelled to redo it, in all fairness.
I think it's just the best thing to do. I can imagine on both sides, as far as vendors go, to wish we would just make a decision, but I think it's just best to open up bids again, let everybody rebid and,
So I have just one question, because I'm thinking of like, if I'm building a house and you rebid it, now you know my number, but so how does like fuel oil
Mhm.
prices work? Like, can today's price be different than tomorrow's price? So it
Mhm.
won't affect Black Bear's
Mhm.
price?
and that's the problem, the bid spec says use the Opus sheet from September 9th. Well, bid opening was on September 10th. So when they called, they said, well, the bid opening's the 10th. We want to get this done, not the day of, we want to do this early. So can we use the 3rd? So they used the Opus sheet for the 3rd, which was $3 from the rail car. Whereas the following week it was $288.
Mhm.
And again, I pretend to be no professional when it comes to reading oil and how that number is derived. I couldn't even tell you. So yeah, in that same vein, yes, if we go now and we rebid and we say you have to use the oil prices from X date, they'll most likely be different than the 9th of September. And if they're not, then that's the same price they would go off.
Right, but
And,
so,
and then their differential is their decision.
Yeah,
That's
so they're
what-
gonna, so just in all fairness, Miravito, and I apologize if I butcher any names,
No.
is gonna know what Black Bears, so if they're charging 50 cents a gallon to deliver it, Miravito knows that, so they could come in at 49 cents a gallon.
Right, but I think Marabito in their
In
email,
fairness.
Marabito in the email, they were using the differential for the incorrect quote anyway that Black Bear had given us. So I think there's a whole bunch of confusion. That's why I think it's possible, but I would just say go out to bid again.
Just for the fuel.
Just for fuel oil, yeah, everything else
it,
is.
it seems to me that if they're specifying a particular location that they have to quote the price from, and on a given day, the only thing that we're really looking at is the price differential.
Exactly.
So I mean, so it really doesn't matter what the price on any given day is.
So
It's not what we're
if
paying.
Black Bear had used the price for the 9th with their differential that day, which was, I believe, 0.1 minus
Right, but
0.10,
Yeah.
they'd still be the lowest bid over Black Bear. Possibly. Don't quote me on any of this, but that number can change by the week as well. So that's why I think just
The
to give Black Bear
differential-
and, Marabito certainly the chance to, Marabito is probably definitely the correct one in this case. But I believe since we gave the wrong information to Black Bear, that's why I feel just to keep it above board for all, we go out to bid again.
well, hopefully they'll fight it out and we'll get a lower price.
Hey, Ben, since we awarded it already, is there any,
No,
can
that
they
was-
come back at us?
No, I think it was a mistake to do that. Not the board's mistake, not Tom's. It was just the bid specs were, could have been more clear.
Okay,
So the resolution tonight, when you get to that, should be to revoke the prior award to Black Bear and to go out and bid again on the fuel oil.
okay.
Now, is everybody good with putting it out to rebid?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
What about a date? How many, 2.5 weeks good?
That's
Because
plenty.
if we put it for the 17th, which is a Thursday before our next meeting, we can approve it at the meeting.
And then the question is in the bid spec, when does she type in there that they should use, which date do we want them to pull their price from?
Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow on that. Tom.
Okay, because that's what we don't know. Like,
Right.
I think it's just been an arbitrary date the day before the bids were, I'm not sure what
Yeah, it should be a
the,
little bit earlier.
that's what we're thinking. That's why she gave Black Bear that information to begin with. So, yeah.
Right, and you said the fuel oil is really a minor, a minor part of our, fuel consumption.
No, I wouldn't say it's a minor part. We just don't use it at the highway department. It's the one thing out of everything that we don't use. Calcium, salt, sand, propane, we have there, but we don't partake in any fuel oil usage.
Yeah.
But there are a number of buildings that do, so. you know,
Yeah,
I would-
Art
I would definitely-
Alliance, Historical Society,
Historical
Yeah,
Society.
and
there's
then
a number. of
also the town park.
Oh, yeah,
I think some of the.
in,
town
in a park building, maybe not, I'm not sure, but.
Yeah.
I don't know why, to be completely honest, if it's state law or whatever, but the highway superintendent recommends to the board the who should be awarded the bids once the bids come in. But again, these are for services or goods rather. So it's really the lowest bidder wins. It's
Mhm.
not, you know, we're not talking about services here where we can have a discussion about who's gonna, might be a little higher, but gonna provide a better service. This is
Mhm.
goods. This is the raw number, so. That's why it even makes it even simpler, since there was just this bit of a discrepancy. In order just to make everything a little more simple for the vendors, for us, and to not open a bigger can of worms, I would just say go out to bid again.
Yeah, it's a total of 6 buildings. So Brittany just texted me to
6
meet
buildings.
town buildings, so 6 total. Which in the future, we're gonna have to get rid of anyway, because New York State's gonna stop us from fossil fuels.
Now, can't we just go with a state bid for fuel oil? Isn't there a state bid out there for fuel oil? We don't have to go out to bid
If
ourselves.
there is a state bid, we can use that. I don't know if there is.
Maybe we
There might
should,
be.
Bids could beat the state bid.
Huh?
Worth it to go out.
Yeah,
to
some
bid.
bids can beat the state. bid.
oh, no, for sure. That's why we go out to bid on things. But for example, we don't have to go out to bid on any of this. We can use the state bid for salt and for sand, but then you might be paying more. So that's why, it behooves the town to do such things. Just another thought.
All right, we'll put the bid date out for the 17th, and we'll word it in a resolution. When we get down to the resolutions to
To-
put this
To
out.
be opened on the 17th. That's the
Yeah.
next meeting, right? Okay.
No, the next meeting's the 22nd.
Oh, that's right. We'll open 17th. Okay, I got you.
Give you a few days to look at it and Ben, make sure everything's good.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, next supervisor's report. I only got a couple, and one of them was the 239, which we kind of already took care of. So the town historian, there's a dinner coming up for the Sullivan County Historical Society. It's their annual dinner. Last year we sent Verdana also with a guest. I got the information. I offered it to Verdana. She would really like to go. So recommend that we give Verdana the $120, for $60 a person, 2 people to go to this dinner and represent the town of Mamakating.
Mhm.
Do I have to do that? Okay, so that will be in the resolutions too. All right, and then next, I just wanted to say that the pickleballs courts are going really well. And hopefully, maybe if the weather stays warm in November, we can try them out. So we'll see how things go. All right. Other than that, I really don't have anything, other.
It's like, we could have like a board competition.
Sure. Just have the ambulance ready, that's all. So next we'll go to the abstract 2024 abstract number 21 for $379,346.68. Can I get a motion to accept the abstract? Motion by Gary,
Second.
second by Peter, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, the financial reports. Everybody get a chance to look at them? We're in pretty good pace for the end of the year, so.
Motion to accept the financial reports.
Motion by John Roofer. Second by Tyler, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve the minutes of 9/17/24. Motion by Gary,
Second.
second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, just another reminder, our fall cleanup is coming up on the 11th, 12th, and 13th here. You need to come and get a voucher from Karen, and the dumpsters will be down and back, so anybody who wants to bring anything, they're more than welcome to. Right, Karen, how many we got so far? 48, so. Thank you. All right, next we'll move on to the resolutions. Approved budget modifications. Motion by Tyler,
Second.
second by Gary, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved the 2025 preliminary budget.
Motion to approve the budget.
Second.
Motion by Peter, second by John Roofer, all in favor?
Aye.
Set a public hearing for 2025 preliminary budget for 10/22/24 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Motion by John Roofer,
Second.
second by Matt, all in favor? Set a public hearing for a proposed law for short-term rentals on 10/22/24 at 6 p.m.
Motion for the public hearing.
Motion by Peter,
Second.
second by John Roofer, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve referral exemption agreement with the County of Sullivan.
Matt wanted to table that?
Yeah, can I request the board table it till the next meeting?
Okay. Everybody good with that?
I am.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Huh? Yes, we're good.
You don't need to.
Well, I was gonna
You
vote.
can if you want.
All right. Board vote to table it?
Aye.
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
All right. All in favor, so we'll table that until the next meeting. Approve the waiver for the MS4. Can I get a motion for that?
Motion.
Motion by Tyler,
Second.
second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's word this right. Set the bid opening for fuel oil. For,
Well, we need to revoke the award for the fuel oil to Black Bear.
right,
Set a bid opening date, a new bid opening date.
all right, we're gonna revoke the approval of Black Bear for fuel oil and then put out to bid, the new bid for fuel oil for 10/17/24, the bid opening,
At what time?
2:00.
Motion.
Motion by Matt,
Second.
second by Peter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is to let Verdana go to that dinner for $120 for the historical dinner. Motion by Gary,
Second.
second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, committee reports. I know Karen had one, but I don't know, did everybody? Did you, I don't know who's. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a horrible one for dog control. So there's 11 dogs this month, 5 were put in the pound, 4 were taken back. And then she had to pick one up that had to be put down. And that was the month of September.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit. It was a rough weekend for her. She had a lot going on that weekend and that didn't help. So it was a very rough weekend for her. Like I said, Karen had your report, but I don't think anybody has it up here. Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause I know Jim's not here today and I know he was on the email. And I didn't.
What's that?
All right. This month, 79 handicap park permits and removals, 18 marriage licenses, 2 one-day marriage officiant licenses, 63 dog licenses and renewals, 14 Terra certificates for spay and neuter program, 135 notarizations, 51 certified copies for vital records, and 1 peddler's license. Reminder, fall cleanup is scheduled for October 11th, 12th, and 13th. Please stop into the town clerk's office for a voucher. Only applicable to town residents that do not reside in the villages. Recycle old paint. Sullivan County Department of Solid Waste and Recycling is now participating in a statewide paint recycling program. Households and businesses can drop off their leftover paint, stain and varnish at the Monticello transfer station during normal operating hours. Monday through Saturday from 7:45 a.m. until 2:45 p.m. This is a free service. For more information, contact Sullivan County at 845-807-0291. Respectfully submitted by Karen L. Barclay, Town of Mammoth Clerk. Thank you,
Thanks.
Karen.
Thanks, John. Anybody else have any reports? We didn't get anything from the meet yet. So,
October 10, Ward 4. Be there, be square.
I just got one other announcement. New York class is doing very well still. We're up to 323,000. The rates did just go down though. So we're not over 5% anymore. We're at like 4.8, which is still pretty good, but you know, the rates are coming down a little bit. So hopefully we still keep earning pretty good money on this. So, anybody else have anything? Announcements, committees? No? All right. Public comment, 3 minutes each individual, 30-minute max for any new business. No? Okay. Brittany, you have anything?
I don't.
Okay. We don't need an executive session tonight, so can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Tyler, second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll see you on the 22nd.